After 3 years of being a simp, a lightning strike woke me up. For 3 years, I chased after Sarah Miller, showering her with gifts and money. She complained that I was insulting her, yet reluctantly accept everything. And then she'd use my money to support her broke boyfriend. After catching them entangled in the classroom, I ran like a madman in the pouring rain and got struck by lightning. The lightning bolt jolted me to my senses. Wow, that audacity-lowering aura really tried to ruin me. I thought, I'm rich and good-looking. Why am I a simp for a trashy girl? In that split second, my 20-odd years of life flashed before my eyes, finally stopping on Sarah's face. Her disdainful look, her rude words, her mercilessly departing figure. And just an hour ago, I'd gone to bring her food, only to discover her and the class's broke, star student, Luke Johnson, in a state of undress in the classroom. I lay down, then sat up again in a fit of rage. Wait, am I insane? I wondered, why did I fall for this rude, classless, poor, and resentful woman? I'm rich, I'm good-looking, and I chose to be a simp for a trashy girl? For 3 whole years. The next second, everything went black. I woke up with my best friend, Alex Evans, sitting by my bedside. Ethan, you're finally awake. Do you recognize me? Seeing no response, he grabbed my head, his face filled with panic. Dude, you're not really brain damaged from the lightning, are you? How could you be so unlucky? I swatted his hand away. Get lost. He sighed in relief. I've already called Sarah. She should be here soon. I scoffed. She's busy hooking up with her boyfriend. Why would she come? Sure enough, when I checked my phone, there was a message from Sarah from half an hour ago. What's done are you pulling now? Getting struck by lightning? Can you grow up? 5 minutes ago, 2 more messages popped up. I told you I'm preparing for the competition. Just because you don't study doesn't mean you can drag me down with you. You think everyone's born with a silver spoon like you. Do you even know how important the prize money from this competition is to me? A good-for-nothing rich kid like you wouldn't understand. I stared at the phone, lost in thought. Alex peered over, his expression softening. Ethan, I'll go with you to explain things to her. Damn, this phone is tough. The quality is amazing. It survived a lightning strike. I didn't reply, opting to block and delete Sarah in one swift motion. Don't be so polite to her anymore. I don't like her anymore. Because of my relentless pursuit of Sarah, my friends, especially Alex, a carefree guy who usually ignored everyone, had been overly polite to her, only to be secretly mocked along with me. Alex looked astonished. What nonsense are you talking about? You don't like Sarah? Did someone body snatch you? Everyone knows Ethan is a devoted lover. I roll my eyes. Just consider me struck by lightning and awakened. If I go back to her, I'll eat dirt. I think you just want an excuse to eat dirt. If you don't go back to her, I'll do a handstand and crap myself. Me. I left the hospital that night. On the way back to my dorm, I deactivated Sarah's access to my credit card. I hadn't realized until then that the girl who claimed she didn't want my money, who nitpicked every gift, saying even expensive things weren't practical, was spending $50,000 to $60,000 of my money every month. The thought of all that money going to support another guy made my heart ache. Including other gifts, it was at least $100,000 a month. The guilt hit me hard as I realized how focused I'd been on Sarah, neglecting to contact my mom, who was living abroad. I video called her. She answered wearing sunglasses, lounging on a beach. Here's 50 million. Don't disturb my date. Now shoo. Me. The next morning, I was woken by a phone call. Ethan Miller. What do you mean? You begged me to let you add me to your credit card. You said it was a token of your affection. Now you just cut me off? Rich guys like you who treat people like toys are the worst. Her furious voice jolted me awake, igniting a fire within me. Spending millions and still being called a toy. Who wants to play with me then? I deleted you on WeChat. Shouldn't that be clear enough? You in. Her voice dripped with anger and humiliation. Fine. Don't ever contact me again. Don't follow me around like a pathetic beggar, begging me to take your things. The call ended abruptly, leaving me staring at the ceiling in disbelief. So that's how pathetic I was. I blocked her number, rolled over, and went back to sleep. I started attending classes diligently. Every time I ran into Sarah on campus, she'd give me the cold shoulder. I didn't spare her a glance, just walked right past her. Then a week before my birthday, Sarah stopped me on my way to class. "Ethan, if you apologize, I'll forgive you." She lifted her chin haughtily, as if bestowing a favor upon me. "I didn't believe your little lightning stunt last time, so I blocked you. Can you not be so petty? What kind of man acts like that?" I knew. She was out of money, begging while acting self-righteous. I pointed to my forehead. "Do you see the word pathetic written here?" When I caught her and Luke cuddling in the library, she told me he'd forced himself on her. So I had Luke beaten up, thinking I was defending her honor. She ended up cradling the bruised and battered Luke, accusing me of being ruthless. My roommates called me whimpering sheep for the rest of the semester. Later, she told me Luke was a decent guy but not her type. She just wanted to focus on her studies, and Luke happened to be a good tutor. I believed her. I actually believed her. Seeing she wasn't getting the response she wanted, Sarah became indignant. "So, liking someone is pathetic to you? Your affection is cheap? I really misjudged you." To save face, she stormed off after her dramatic declaration. Sigh. I sighed deeply. It was my fault. My brain had malfunctioned, giving this woman unlimited confidence. I thought Sarah had finally given up on me. Then, one day in the bathroom stall, as I was pulling up my pants, I overheard her arguing with Luke. "Why haven't you gotten the money yet? My mom keeps hounding me. We're running out of time. I can't help it. Who knows why Ethan is throwing such a long tantrum? Don't worry. The whole school knows he's chasing me. He'll definitely invite me to his birthday party next week. He can't afford to lose face. Last year, he gave me a diamond ring for my birthday that I sold for over $30,000. I took a deep breath, unable to suppress a gag. A voice came from the next stall. "Dude, are you choking on something?" The two outside realized someone was in the bathroom and quickly left. So my so-called deep affection really was a brain malfunction. A smirk crept onto my face. Face, huh? The following Saturday afternoon, after class, I stood on the podium. "Tomorrow is my birthday. No classes in the evening. Everyone's invited to a party at my house. Transportation provided." The room erupted in cheers. "Ethan's the best." Alex, aware of my plan, beamed, handing out invitations one by one. When he reached Sarah, she waved him off impatiently, as usual. "I don't have time. What's so great about these parties?" Alex ignored her completely, handing the invitation to the girl beside her, Chloe Green. "You have to come." Chloe accepted, flattered then, seeing Sarah being overlooked, offered some well-meaning consolation. "Your invitation is probably different from ours. Maybe Ethan wants to invite you personally." Sarah's face brightened slightly. "Who needs his invitation? I'm busy. I have a competition coming up. Not everyone is free to skip studying like him." Tough talk. On Sunday afternoon, over 20 luxury cars lined up at the school gates, causing a commotion. A guy whistled. "Ethan's a legend. My poverty is limiting my imagination. Are there any cars here worth over 10 million? Chloe pointed at a McLaren Senna. "I want to ride in that one. The color is so cool." I waved my hand. "Go ahead, pick whichever you like. Anyone with a license can drive." Holy crap, this might be the only time in my life I'll drive a supercar. The crowd surged forward. The smarter guys quickly invited the remaining girls, while those who were slower were left arguing over who got to drive, pairing up two guys to a car. Just then, Sarah and Luke walked out of the school gates, books in their arms. Sarah rolled her eyes. "So impressive. Showing off. It's all his parents' money anyway." Luke nodded in agreement. Alex wrinkled his nose in disgust. "What's that sour smell? Is there a lemon demon around? Let's go, Ethan. I'll be your chauffeur. I've been dying to try out your Lamborghini Veneno." I glanced back before getting into the car. In my peripheral vision, I saw Sarah frozen in place, her expression incredulous. Did she really think I'd personally invite her? As I drove away, I heard Sarah ask Luke what they should do. Luke calmly replied, "Don't worry as long as." I knew those two were up to no good, but if they behaved themselves, it would ruin my plan. So, when everyone was full and playing games, Sarah arrived, fashionably late, clutching a gift-wrap box. The room fell silent. Ever since the party started without Sarah's invitation, everyone had figured something out, but no one dared to say it aloud. So, when Sarah appeared, everyone held their breath. She walked up to me and held out the gift-wrap box. "This is the gift I prepared for you. Here." I stared at her without reaching for it. Seeing this, Alex jumped up indignantly. "How can you be so shameless? You weren't invited. What are you doing here?" She froze, then looked at me, my silence making her look worried. She, Ethan, what do you mean? I put so much effort into preparing this gift for you, and your friends aren't welcoming me? Are you looking down on me? I scoffed and unwrapped the gift in front of everyone. Inside the crudely wrapped box was a black tie with loose threads sticking out. Alex leaned in for a closer look, then pinched the tie between two fingers with a disgusted expression. This is your heartfelt gift? Looks like something you'd get on Wish for $9.99, shipping included. Why don't you pull out your phone and show us the receipt? I pointed at the wrapping paper on the floor. Your heartfelt effort was wrapping the box. Tears welled up in her eyes. I worked hard for the money to buy this. Just say it if you look down on me. You think everyone's born with a silver spoon in their mouth, carefree, and without worries like you. Her shamelessness made me laugh. I was about to pull out the printed credit card statements and expose her true colors when a familiar female voice rang out from the doorway. Who says heartfelt gifts have to be expensive luxury items? Alex was the first to react, shouting, Erica! Everyone looked up in shock. My eyes widened in admiration. Flowing golden waves, a stunning figure, and further down, a bright yellow miniskirt that accentuated her long legs. I quickly told the housekeeper to turn up the heat. Erica, why are you back? Erica Grant, my childhood friend and neighbor. I'd endured my share of beatings from her when we were kids. She'd gone abroad for college while I stayed in the country. She didn't answer, but strode over to Sarah, looking her directly in the eye. Did you say luxury items are the only heartfelt gifts? Sarah fidgeted with the hem of her dress nervously under Erica's gaze, then gathered her courage to look up, tears starting to fall. Isn't it true? You rich kids, with your dirty money, you toy with people's feelings, look down on the poor, and pretend to be noble. Erica raised an eyebrow in surprise, pointing at Sarah and asking me, Did you toy with her feelings? I quickly waved my hands. I wouldn't dare. I was just blind freshman year. Spent a few million and didn't even hold her hand. But I'm cured now. From behind me, a guest couldn't contain himself. Dude, I'd warm your bed for 10 grand a month. No need for millions. The brawny captain of the football team raised his hand. Me too. I shuddered. Get out of here. Sarah opened her mouth to retort, but seeing Erica's imposing presence, she bit her lip, anger battling with fear. Erica chuckled. You're an interesting one. Resentful of the rich, yet acting all high and mighty. Aren't you still chasing money by clinging to Ethan? And you call that pathetic thing a heartfelt gift? She clapped her hands. Let me show you what a truly heartfelt gift looks like. As soon as she finished speaking, two people carried in an exquisite sculpture, lifelike and detailed, down to every strand of hair. Sarah immediately retorted, How do we know you made this? You probably just bought it. Alex was infuriated by her shamelessness. Erica is the champion of the fondant cake competition. Don't talk nonsense if you don't know anything. Everyone crowded around to admire the magnificent fondant sculpture, gasps and exclamations of wow filling the air. I looked sincerely at Erica. Thank you. You went through so much trouble. She waved her hand dismissively. It was nothing. A little more effort than that gift box. Sarah realized the jab was directed at her, but everyone present was clearly on Erica's side. She glared at me tearfully. You'll regret this. Then she ran off crying. Erica watched her go, shaking her head. I don't think you were blind. I think you had crap in your eyes. I scratched my head sheepishly. Erica stayed for a few days before heading back abroad. I suspected she'd come back specifically for my birthday, but I didn't dare ask. Now the whole class was buzzing about my accomplished and wealthy childhood friend. Sarah, who had chased me for 3 years and then made a fool of herself, had become a laughingstock. Sarah had been on edge lately, snapping at everyone. For instance, in the study room, a guy accidentally bumped into her as he was leaving, and she immediately shrieked, Are you blind? She loved to cultivate her image as a hard-working student, doing unusual things like reciting from textbooks in the crowded hallway. People weren't putting up with it anymore. The hallway is so narrow, and you insist on standing here? Do you think you're that skinny? She flushed with shame, but knowing she couldn't win against them, she kept quiet. I really thought this woman was crazy. Back then, she was just a bit eccentric in class, but everyone gave her leeway because of me, which only fueled her arrogance. She bit her lip as if she'd been deeply wronged. In the past, the sight of her like this would have made me rush to comfort her. Now, I just wanted to laugh. She needed a dose of reality. Real princesses have princess syndrome. She has wild chicken emotional breakdown syndrome. I couldn't help but chuckle at the thought, then suddenly felt an intense glare from above. I looked up to see Sarah with her chin raised defiantly. Ethan Miller, don't think you can make me submit with these tactics. You disgust me. Me? Question mark. What did I do? Before I could ask what her problem was, she stormed off, clutching her books. I took a deep breath. Shift. Unfortunately, the annoying things weren't over. That afternoon, I received a call from Sarah's uncle. She had complained to me before that her uncle wanted to come to the city for work, but had nowhere to live. I immediately helped him find a cushy, high-paying job and rented him an apartment for $5,000 a month. Perhaps because I was too nice to him, he became increasingly disrespectful. I was still foolishly thinking he was treating me like family. When I answered the phone, his voice was incredibly arrogant. Ethan Miller, you better pay my rent right now, or you'll regret it. He hung up before I could react. I called the person who had arranged his job. Fire Frank. Make sure you're firm about it. He understood and readily agreed. Ethan, you wouldn't believe it. He does nothing at the company all day, and he harasses our female colleagues. Several have quit because of him. I hadn't expected this. My anger flared. Then find an excuse to kick him out and offer those employees their jobs back with a higher salary. Be sincere. The money will come from my account. Got it? The next day, I receive another call. Ethan Miller, what kind of job did you arrange for me? So many rules, and today they beat me up and fired me. I just broke a machine. They want me to pay $60,000. You better help me pay for it and then teach that manager a lesson. Or you can forget about marrying my niece. So many rules, meaning he wasn't allowed to harass women? I immediately apologized. What? You were beaten up? I'll be right there. Don't worry. When I arrived with two burly men, he actually thought I was there to back him up. You know what's good for you. Take me to that manager right now, and let's beat him up. Then take me to the best hospital for a checkup, and give me a few thousand for compensation. Seeing my lack of response, he glared. What are you waiting for? Do you have any sense? Do you still want to marry Sarah? You're so useless. I gritted my teeth, put on a smile, and waved my hand. Beat him up. The two men behind me, receiving the order, cracked their knuckles and advanced towards Frank. They were both trained fighters, knowing how to inflict pain without leaving obvious marks. The hallway was filled with his howls, punctuated by curses. You animal! You dare have people beat me up? You worthless piece of trash! You think you're so great just because you have some money? Art! Slap him. The screaming turned into muffled whimpers. When he finally couldn't make any more noise, I called it off. Did you leave your brain back in the countryside when you came to the city? Do you really think I'm an idiot? I'm rich, not stupid. He mumbled unintelligibly, his mouth too swollen to speak. Since Erica's brief return, we'd been in constant contact. The bossy little girl who used to chase me around with her fists had transformed into a confident, accomplished woman, radiating an irresistible glow. I was on the phone with Erica, chatting away on the track field, when Sarah slapped me across the face. The blow caught me completely off guard. She tried to slap me again, but I grabbed her wrist. Sarah Miller, are you insane? I haven't said I wouldn't hit a woman. She flinched, and I flung her hand away, causing her to stumble. Ethan Miller, just because I didn't accept your advances, you not only have people target me, but you also had my uncle beaten up? How could you be so cruel? People strolling on the track field were drawn to her accusations. I didn't stand there silently like before, letting her act like a clown. I confronted her head-on. Your uncle did nothing at my company, took a $10,000 monthly salary, and harassed several of my female employees, causing them to resign. Shouldn't I have him beaten up? The surrounding people started murmuring and pointing at her. She glared at me, tears streaming down her face. Who knows if what you're saying is true? You chased me for 3 years, and when you couldn't get me, you resorted to these tactics to force me. Just because you're rich. A girl in the crowd whispered, so that's how it is? Rich guys like him are disgusting. This is the modern age. We have free love, and he's resorting to underhanded tactics. I didn't deny it. I am rich, but I'm not running a charity. You led me on for years and spent hundreds of thousands of my dollars. Now that you're not accepting my advances, shouldn't you return my money? You call my money dirty money, yet you spend it. Then you turn around and use it to support your toy boy. Should I show everyone your purchase history and let them see what you bought? Her face paled. I was just grateful to him for tutoring me. You gave me that money willingly. It's up to me how I spend it. So grateful that you ended up in bed with him? She opened her mouth to retort, but I cut her off. I have pictures. Do you want me to show them now? Another guy in the crowd commented. This woman is such a hypocrite. Her lips trembled. Finally, she yelled at me. I never agreed to be with you. Why can't I accept someone else? I held out my hand, then returned the money. Your uncle also broke a $60,000 machine at my company. If you don't pay me back within a month, I'll arrange a new job for him. Sewing shoes in prison. She shook her head, looking dazed. Impossible. How could this happen? I found Sarah's behavior odd. Remembering the conversation I'd overheard in the bathroom, I had someone investigate Luke. It turned out Luke's mother was a gambler, deep in debt and unable to control herself. So all the money Sarah had swindled from me had gone to Luke to help his mother pay off her debts. But something still felt off. Why had I fallen for Sarah so inexplicably in the first place? Before meeting her, I'd always been attracted to gentle, elegant women, not angry, resentful types like her. I sent a message. Keep investigating, especially their relationship before college. Then I started the arduous task of preparing for the academic competition. You haven't won a single award in 3 years of college. Is there anything in your brain besides Sarah Miller? If you can't get an offer from my university, then maybe in 3 years I'll agree to be with you. But I can't guarantee I won't have a boyfriend by then. Erica's words echoed in my ears, tightening the strings in my mind. The competition wasn't particularly difficult, just required effort. But I hadn't wanted to study abroad because of my dismal 48 points on the college entrance English exam. I hadn't even passed the CET for in college. The thought of Erica returning with her boyfriend after graduation, while I remained a useless rich kid, spurred me to study like my life depended on it. Following Erica's advice, I started studying diligently every day, retaking failed courses to improve my GPA. My schedule was packed. To avoid disturbing my roommates, I even bought an apartment off campus. So, when Sarah, tearfully dressed in a lacy slip, knocked on my door, I thought I was hallucinating. She sobbed, Ethan, I regret it. I've realized that you're the one I truly love. Rubbing my temples, my head throbbing from English study, I said, You mean my money, right? She shook her head dramatically. No, I was blinded by my studies. I was afraid I wasn't good enough for you. So I desperately tried to improve myself. But in pursuing my dreams, I almost lost you. Her words were heartfelt, spoken with such humility. It made me sick. So, if I said I'd forgive you if you had Luke return all the money you spent, would you agree? Her face lit up. Why should I? She realized her slip-up, her face stiffening. I'm willing. You're willing, but I'm not. Sorry, I find you too dirty. The door slammed shut, blocking the incredulous expression on her face. She knocked persistently, only to be yelled at by the guy next door. I heard her mumble in a daze, Impossible. Could there be something wrong with the goo? When the information was laid out in front of me, I finally understood. My inexplicable attraction to Sarah wasn't some inexplicable infatuation. It was goo. Sarah and Luke came from the same village. Long ago, the villagers were skilled in goo, but now very few practiced it. However, Sarah's mother was one of them. When Sarah was 6, she almost drowned but was saved by her mother, who then drowned herself. Sarah's father believed she was a curse, abusing her constantly. A few months later, he died mysteriously. Luke's mother, having just returned to the village with baby Luke to escape her debts, coveted Sarah's house and took her in as her goddaughter. They didn't leave the village until they were 15. And that uncle? He was Luke's father. Luke took his mother's last name. I suspected Sarah had inherited the goo techniques and used them on me when we first met. No wonder I was fine after being struck by lightning. I had thought I was miraculously resilient, but it seemed it was related to the goo. I shook my head, looking at the information. A new type of scam? Who could defend against that? I called the manager who'd been wrong before. Pressure Frank to return the money. You can be harsh. He understood perfectly. Got it, Ethan? Don't worry. I remembered my first encounter with Sarah. She bumped into me and then scolded me. My reaction at the time? Wow, what a unique girl. She's not afraid to be rude to me. I love it. So physical contact was necessary for the goo to work. So, a few days later, after Frank had a leg broken and Luke's mother was beaten up again by debt collectors, Sarah decided to play her trump card. Ethan, come to building 2 quickly. Sarah's about to jump. She says she has to see you. Okay, I'm on my way. After receiving the call, I changed my clothes, made a cup of coffee, and strolled out the door. When I arrived at the rooftop of building 2 an hour later, Sarah was shivering, frozen stiff. Seeing me, Luke lunged at me, throwing a punch. Sarah's trying to kill herself because of you. Did you take so long because you wanted her dead? I stepped back, easily dodging his punch. Don't try to guilt trip me. Her free ATM is gone, so she's resorting to suicide threats. Do I look like a sucker? A girl in the crowd yelled. How can you be so heartless? You're forcing her to die. You murder? Others chimed in. Scumbag like you, who doesn't care about human life, should be in jail. Alex, furious, yelled back. I'll beat anyone who says another word. I'm Alex Evans, and I don't care who you are. Alex's reputation for being unreasonable was known throughout the school. The girl puffed up her chest, about to speak again, but Alex added, I'll beat up girls too. I'm a scumbag, remember? She shrunk back and shut up. Luke glared at me. Ethan Miller, if Sarah dies for you today, can your family's company withstand the public outrage? Alex, eyes red, was about to charge at him, but I held him back. I patted his shoulder. Don't get angry. Then I walked straight toward Sarah. After a couple of steps, I stopped, turning back to Luke. Come with me. If anything happens, I can't hold her back alone. His face darkened, but he nodded. Sarah's eyes were vacant, but a flicker of light appeared when she saw me. Ethan, you finally came to see me. I thought you'd never forgive me. You came to see me. Does that mean you still have feelings for me? Seeing her hopeful gaze, I sighed. I chased you for 3 years. I developed feelings for a dog after that long. Her expression almost cracked. She bit her lip and continued. I'm not asking for your forgiveness or to go back to how things were. I'll pay you back slowly. Can we still be friends? I didn't answer, just stared at her. Luke nudged me with his elbow. Say something. Get her down first. I took a step forward. Okay, come down first, and I'll agree. Tears welled up in her eyes, a relieved smile spreading across her face. The moment she jumped down, she lunged towards me, something white wriggling in her outstretched right hand. I instantly pulled Luke in front of me as a shield and quickly backed away. They collided. The next second, Sarah screamed, It's you, my goo. Luke's face turned deathly pale. He grabbed her throat. What kind of goo did you use? Sarah choked out 2 words, heart. Devouring. Luke's face was filled with despair as he collapsed to the ground. I dusted off my sleeves and turned away. Serves them right. Sarah and Luke disappeared. I had people follow their trail and discovered they'd returned to their village, along with Luke's parents. 3 months later, I ran into Luke on my way to school. He rushed out of an alley, emaciated, and threw himself at my feet when he saw me. Please, tell me how you broke the goo. I'll give you money. No, if you want revenge on that bitch Sarah, I'll give her to you. Please. I stepped back. What would I do with her? She's dying anyway. I don't want another life on my conscience. Apparently, after learning about the goo, Luke's mother had knocked out several of Sarah's teeth. She'd also berated her, calling her a useless waste who couldn't earn money and almost killed her own son. She and Frank took out all their anger on Sarah, who was tortured until she was unrecognizable within days. After returning to the village, they'd asked everyone about how to break the goo, but found no answers. Sarah had only inherited the goo and probably hadn't learned how to undo it. They locked Sarah in the cellar. On the 7th night, she escaped. She used a cleaver to kill Frank and Luke's mother. Only Luke, kept awake by the pain, managed to escape. Luke then called the villagers, who captured Sarah, broke her hands and feet, and cut out her tongue. The Luke in front of me ignored my implications and kept kowtowing. Please, just tell me how to break the goo. I'll do anything. I smirked. Go to the police. Turn Sarah in, and I'll tell you. 3 days later, I saw the news on TV. A female college student in a remote village had brutally murdered her adoptive parents. I sent Luke a message. That night I woke up, I really was struck by lightning. The next time I heard about Luke was from the professor I met at the mathematical modeling contest. He patted my shoulder. You sly dog. Playing dumb all this time. Who would have thought? I smiled sheepishly. I couldn't handle praise. It made me uncomfortable. He then sighed regretfully. That Luke from your class, he was smart, Quick learner? Such a shame. What happened to him? He shook his head. His mother loved gambling and was deep in debt. I don't know if it was the pressure, but he climbed a ladder and touched a high-voltage power line with a metal rod. Burned to a crisp on the spot. He sighed heavily again. Me? I meant struck by lightning, figuratively. Did the goo eat his brain too? After a year of hard work, I finally received an offer from Erica's university. When I told my mom, she surprisingly video called me. As soon as the call connected, she looked panicked. Who are you? Give me back my Ethan. He may be a bit slow, useless, and unambitious, but he's still my son after 20-odd years. I know what he's capable of. I rolled my eyes. Mom, am I really that bad? She was about to start listing all my stupid acts, but I quickly interrupted. I did it all for my girlfriend. Her brow furrowed. That? Sarah, what's her name? I waved my hand. Don't even mention her. I was blind back then. My girlfriend is Erica Grant. My mom's eyes lit up instantly. She gave me a thumbs up. Impressive. Erica hadn't replied to my message or answered my calls. I figured she was too busy to see them. I fell asleep waiting for a response. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Ethan, it's me, Alex. Open up. I groggily opened the door in my boxers and was suddenly embraced. Congratulations on reaching the shore, Ethan. A warm kiss landed on my cheek. Alex chuckled beside me. Double harvest in love and academics, Ethan. The CP I've shipped since childhood has finally come true.